The following two quotes are from the Honorable Representative John Lewis. You are a light. You are the light. Never let anyone, any person, or any force dampen, dim, or diminish your light. Release the need to hate, to harbor division, and the enticement of revenge. Release all bitterness. Hold only love, only peace in your heart, knowing that the battle of good to overcome evil is already won. The second is a partial quote. Get in good trouble. Necessary trouble. The next quotation is from the Honorable Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I do not care what your views are. It does not matter how much I disagree or how much it incenses me, or how much I feel that people are dehumanizing others. I will not do that myself. I will not allow people to change and create hatred in our hearts. Hey, Bay, Tyrone said to them. Tyrone had a flat-lined expression of late. He didn't seek work after he had an opportunity to work with Zoe. Every now and again, she would hire him, and with saving all the money sheltering in place with they, them, and with Lenny, Tyrone became just fine with a jobless job. He had stopped his customary jogging and didn't want to risk trying to go see relatives again or whatever other adventures he was on. He was good about tending to the house, though. Aesthetic things, making sure everything in the house was tidy and symmetrical, and tending to the tiny box garden out front. They then thought to themselves, well, I guess he's in an early retirement, just like the rest of us jobless jobbers, and thought it best to leave him alone. This was one of the days when they then would sit on the edge of Tyrone's bed and wax rhapsodic about this timeless time and this jobless job, and what they them was coming to see was becoming a lifeless life. "So what's your robot friend?" Tyrone asked. "Well," they then began, "it's almost like there's not a point for me. It's like I'm trying to build a friend or something." "You wanted it to do some other stuff for you?" Tyrone responded. "I think I understand that a little bit now. Living with you is a little bit different. You need someone to talk to about your book stuff, spirit stuff." "The guru told me," they them said, "you're never alone. You have all of spirit behind you." "Right," Tyrone said, "right. But you're different. You need someone to kind of bounce stuff off of and A lot of times just keeping it real, I ain't feeling it, you know? Well, they them said, you're my fam and that's that. I don't need you to be anything else, but well, what I do need you to do is take good care of yourself and and you gonna supervise me while I do that, right? Tyrone said. Not so much. I feel you, Tyrone said. It's nice to be here, and I don't know what's next. We don't need to know, they them said. It is a timeless time. They them laid back on the bed, lacing their hands behind their head, and looked up at the ceiling through to the sky. They then pretended they could see starlings and hummingbirds flittering about and peeking down, hearing trills and chirps of birds and birds to come, peeking in through the imaginary hole in the ceiling. Bird song, they said to themselves. They could hear Tyrone's light breathing behind them. Tyrone had nodded off. Bird song. I mean, Lenny does want to teach my bot to sing, so maybe that's what I should call it. Though the kit Lenny promised never seemed to be arriving, Lenny had acquired a rough parts list, schematics for a robot that made things more concrete. They them decided not to push Lenny about kits or anything else. Timeless time, post-pandemic, all bets are off. You're grateful for what you got. They then went to their room to get the printout and start taking a look at things, if for nothing else, just for the exercise of it, or maybe just to build Lenny's robot. Lenny could call it whatever she wanted, but in they them's mind it would be Birdsong. Okay, so I've got the parts list, they them said aloud, and I've sketched out some ideas about the programming. That's good. Lenny took the printed materials detailing all the parts and started drawing little sketches on the other side of one of the pieces of paper. Birdsong, they wrote at the top of one page. When Lenny came home and saw they them working on the robot, she smiled a soft smile and sat down beside them. Ah, Lenny said, you're inspired, eh? Oh, this is looking really good. Birdsong, what's that? Oh, that's my robot's name. Oh, what's mine called? Lenny asked. Maybe it could be yours. I'm kind of not sure. I'm going to do this thing. I don't just want mine to have a metallic face, and if I do give it a humanoid face, it'd be hard if it's Zoe. It'd be hard if it's you. Oh, Lenny said. I can feel it. I'm so sorry for your pain. "Mm, I have meds for it," they them said. "I just don't see the point of trying to get emotional help. I don't need help around the house." "Well," Lenny asked, "what exactly does an ESR do? People don't really seem to be using emotional support robots these days, and bots are mainly leisure or protective." "Well," they them said, "being that I am or was a coder." "Mm-hmm," Lenny went on. "Well, yeah," they them continued, "being that I was a coder, I thought I could program it to help coach me, help me maintain my emotional life, keep my brain active, and keep my emotions processing properly. I've gone a little robotic and started shutting stuff down, and you know how that can go." "I do," Lenny said. I've witnessed it." "I really shouldn't say this," Lenny went on. "I wish I could give you what you need, but I just know better. I've tried it so many times before, and it's just better to love myself and take care of myself, you know?" "I know," they them said. "I do not want what I haven't got. I'd never ask another soul to be anything but at choice and free. I'm just having trouble trying to see how this robot will help me. I know how yours will help you. Maybe I should just focus on that. Oh, I don't want to feel selfish. Building the bot, I mean, that's how we got to talking anyway," Lenny said. "We only ever talked about avocados and carrots and bell peppers before." "I'd be happy to share birdsong, is it?" "Yeah, I'd be happy to share birdsong with you. Can I take a look at this list?" "Sure," they them said. "I mean, you're the one who got it for me." "Okay, thank you. I see the limbs and the torso here. Um, what does that indicate?" "Oh, that measures length." Um, they them took out a pencil and started drawing up some figures. "You know, it looks like this robot's only about 3 feet tall." "No," Lenny said. "Must be much taller." "Don't worry about the parts. I'll help you pay for them." "Yeah, it's okay," they them said. I can get different parts or fashion different parts. A friend of a friend has access to a 3D printer, so we'll we'll come up with a." "Don't say it," Lenny said. "I don't like when you say Frankenstein's monster. This is not a monster. It's a helper." Mm, helper. "Besides," Lenny said, "would you be in a relationship with a monster?" They them shook their head no and said to themselves, silently. That's all I was in relationship with the monster. What are monsters? The guru said that there is no such thing as a shadow side, that all actions and words, emotions that outpicture are simply the best idea that we've got going at the time. To call it bad or wrong is limiting. And that's how they them felt about coding before most jobs stopped. They were just getting the hang of being in a zen place about coding. Nothing bad, just results, more information, more data to make things better. Failing and fucking up is an actual part of the process. You test it. Make sure it runs, listens, has all the information it needs to work properly. And then you keep feeding it. Did I lose you? Lenny said. You looked real far away for a minute. I'm with you, they them said. Okay, great. So it's gonna be tall, at least 6 feet. Yeah? Yeah, they them said. No problem. Okay. I see it needs a cooling fan. Power supply. We're gonna work on solar. So it can be virtually anywhere. Uh-huh, they them said. I don't know if we can afford sensors, but a sensor embedded in a camera. We've got to have a camera. What is this protection that you need? They them said. You're with us now. I am, Lenny said. I'm not ready to talk about that now. All right. Actuators? What's an actuator? It helps the device pivot. Oh, thanks. Fastenings, cables. You've got tools on site, right? Pretty much everything we'd need. Oh, so great. Okay, well, let me know what kind of help you need to get started. I know it'll take you a couple of days to redraw everything up, right? I can do this overnight. Had trouble sleeping anyway. Oh, you precious being, Lenny said. You're kind to say, they them echoed back. You know how I feel about you. I do, Lenny said. There are certain ways we can share our good feelings together that are nice and clear. Nice and clear, they them said. That feels about right to me. I'm kind of losing it, I think. I think I'm gone, they them said. Now they, them, I'm a professional, and I can tell you that feelings are not facts. No matter how deep and important they are to you, which I'd never discount. Storm clouds pass, dear one. Storm clouds pass, they, them said. The guru told me that too. Every creature needs to have a task, a project, a passion. I can feel it in my soul that it's what I need, but I can't feel it in my spirit. I don't follow, Lenny said. It's like I'm reading a fact in a book, they, them said. But I haven't yet downloaded the information. Well, we just need to start walking forward, Lenny said. Apply as you go. You know, coder, iterate, right? I don't feel like I need an ESR. Emotional support robot, you know. Well, it's prescribed, Lenny said. It's a prescription. No matter how you feel about it or what you think, why don't you just go ahead and accept the help, dear one? Lenny encouraged them. I'm hoping that birdsong can help us both. I'm gonna teach it to sing, you know? Yeah, they, them said. I'm looking forward to it.